Hey everyone, it's Fat. Got another video for you today. Well, actually, it's Spinal Tap Part 2, Part 2. In my previous video, I read an article from MSN who discussed, maybe Spinal Tap 2 is a little bit too late, because they kind of dropped the ball back in the day of grunge when grunge took over metal, and it would have been perfect thing for them to do a Spinal Tap Part 2 then. But I was thinking about it. I think I disagree because that, for one, that would have dated the movie. It would have locked it in the 90s, and that's not a good thing. 90s were bad for music, especially. So I got to thinking, what would really make Spinal Tap 2 funny and relevant today? So I'm going to give you my thoughts on if I were writing the movie. I'm not, but if I were. So sit back, relax, and hear me out. So, okay, here we go. So the movie would start with them playing a concert to promote their latest album. And even though that they've produced multiple albums over the 40 years since their big hits back in the 80s, none of the albums were a success, So they're still kind of skating on past success. Metallica. So, but their latest album, they tend to think it's the greatest thing ever. It's the best thing they've ever written. All bands tend to think that. And so they're out there promoting this album, and the fans are just cheering that they want to hear the hits. They want to hear, Sex Forum. They want to hear Stonehenge, all the old hits. And so they go into them, they play the hits, concert's over, they go backstage. They start discussing Nigel and David St. Hubbins, singer guitar player. They start discussing how disappointed they are, and maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to pack it in, give it up, so to speak. So they decide that's it. We're going to do a final show. Spinal Tap is done. So they do the show. They were kind of hoping to go out with a bang, but they kind of just fizzle out because they end up doing the same thing, just playing the hits, and same old fans show up and whatever. So anyway, we then join them in their retirement. And first we look in on David St. Hubbins, and what he's done is he decided that his musical journey isn't over. So his choice for retirement was to write songs for other artists. And because he's done so many metal songs over the years, he thought, well, maybe it's time to write a pop song, maybe a nice, catchy pop song. So he does. And it gets into the hands of, let's say, like a fictional Taylor Swift type character. And it becomes a big hit. So right off the bat, the record label's pigeonholing him into, that's it. You got to write pop songs. You're just going to do that. That's it. So, he's not happy right off the bat. So then we check in on Nigel Tufnell, guitar player. So he's kind of the same way. His musical journey isn't over. So what he chose to do was go to Hollywood and write, score movies and stuff, right? Movie scores. It's because he thinks he's a musical genius. And over time, he comes to realize that his heart still lies in writing songs like Lick My Love Pump and songs of that nature. So he's not quite so happy. So then we check in on Derek Smalls, bass player. Let's say he didn't want to quit Spinal Tap in the first place. Spinal Tap is all he knows. So he can't even find a regular job, because it's not what he wants to do with his life. So he ends up hooking back up with Nigel Tufnell, and Nigel pulls some Hollywood strings for him and gets him a gig voice acting, kind of a nod to the fact that Harry Shearer voice acts in real life. What they did with The Simpsons, Derek Smalls gets on this cartoon, and when they find out that he was the bass player for Spinal Tap, they want to bring the whole band in to do a cartoon episode of the band Spinal Tap. So it's all arranged. They kind of do their voice acting and whatnot, and when it's all done, they hang out and they're all discussing how they're not happy. They're not happy in what they're doing, and they regret, ending the band and whatnot, and maybe we should get back together. And of course they're like, well, we played our final show, it wouldn't be right. So then David St. Hubbins springs on him that, well, he was actually contacted to do a residency in Las Vegas if he can put the band back together, guaranteed, thing, weekly, whatever. So they all kind of I guess it wouldn't be really lying to the fans if we're just doing, a show a week or something at one same place. We're not touring around. So whatever, it's kind of a different thing. So anyway, they start doing the residency, and for all intents and purposes, the band's back together. But in a short period of time, they realize they're just back where they were. They not only are they playing the same old songs to the same old fans, they're stuck in the same tired place every night, or however, whenever they play. And so that's it. they're back to, okay, the band's breaking up. We're going to do, a real final show now. And so they contact their record label, and the record label wants nothing to do with it. No final show. You guys are done, whatever. You're not putting out any new music anyway. So whatever, we're done. But then conveniently at this particular point in time, let's say a fictional movie like Guardians of the Galaxy or something chooses to put one of the old Spinal Tap songs in the movie. And so now Spinal Tap is big again. They're appealing to a whole new audience, and kids are wanting to get a hold of the song because it's in their cool movie and stuff like that. So then all of a sudden now the record label changes their mind, and okay, you guys can do this final show. We'll throw a bunch of money at it and see what happens. And so they do this final show, and it's a big success. It brings in millions and millions of dollars. The audience it's the old fans, but the old fans bring their kids, and their kids bring their kids, and then the audience, fans from the movie come. Anyway, so it's a big success. Now the guys are kind of like, well, maybe we shouldn't quit doing it. And so we end the movie with in true Nigel Tufnell fashion, with Nigel saying, well, maybe we just do a final show every couple of years. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's kind of my quick way my mind works. And if I were writing the movie, I don't know, what do you think? Would you watch that movie? Are you looking forward to Spinal Tap 2? Should there be a Spinal Tap 2? But I think that would be the way to go. Kind of dig in on all these bands that stuck around way too long and just in it for the money. So anyway, let me know. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, do all that cool YouTube stuff, and help a brother out. So stay strong, Fet Force. Till next time. And don't forget to take care of yourself, take care of each other. And why take it easy when you can take it sleazy?
Exit light, pursue night, grasp your prey.